Good evening and welcome to Your Call. It's the one show on Indian television where you, the viewer, can ask your question directly to the newsmaker of the week. Tonight I'm joined by a young writer who's already written his third book, Noon. Aatish Taseer, best known perhaps for his first work. It was a thought-provoking book on a personal journey of a discovery of a father and, well, some countries along the way. He is the son of well-known Indian journalist Tavleen Singh and Salman Taseer, former Governor of Punjab in Pakistan, who was assassinated earlier this year in January. Tell us about your latest novel, Noon, because how much the voice of the fictional narrator seems to have a lot in common with you, Aatish. I mean, is it the circumstances? Is it that because you're writing about India and Pakistan? And some of the commonalities, of course, the young boy who grows up with his mother in Delhi, a father who's abandoned them. Do those commonalities, do you think about them when you write, or is this something that you think other people read into it?
You know, the creation of a kind of character that helps you access your material is something that you'll see in the work of Proust. Manto has his Manto style. It's somehow, you need sometimes, especially when it's the material that's nearest to you, you need to create that kind of character. But once you've created him, then he passes into a kind of fictional sphere. Like he's no longer, the material changes once it sort of enters a kind of fictional world. On Your Call, we've got many people to ask you questions. Let me go across to somebody who's, well, one of our publishing giants and a writer as well. David Davidar wants to ask you this question.
Aatish, you're a journalist by profession, and you're also a celebrated writer of both fiction and non-fiction books. My question to you is, which form do you find is more rewarding? Which form stretches you more as a writer? And which form do you actually enjoy more?
Do you see yourself as a journalist by profession? When you started off with Time magazine, but do you see yourself as a journalist by profession?
I was a very bad journalist, at least for the certain kind. My mother's a journalist, so I know that journalists require a kind of intelligence that's very different from mine. I was almost too slow to be a journalist. I remember at one point I was covering an English election and I had one question to ask Gordon Brown, and I think I asked him the stupidest question in the world. He just kind of turned away. No, I wasn't a very good journalist, but there's a certain kind of long-form journalism that involves traveling, which I like very much. I think it's wonderful. But to answer David's question, I think that probably the imagination is still it's still kind of the sort of highest place for me to be as a writer. It's the most taxing, but it's also the most rewarding, the most absorbing. It's wonderful. When that gets going, when some kind of internal narrative gets going and you're completely occupied by it, it's the greatest feeling in the world, I think.
But it's interesting how you always draw the context from those around you. I mean, your last novel, The Temple Goers, attracted some controversy when one of the characters was said to be modelled on a former Rajasthan chief minister, and you had many Delhi socialites saying, hey, that's me, why did you write about me? Even in this book, India, Pakistan, people who seem to inhabit your world.
I think that's very good. I think that the best kind of writing has come from people writing from deep within their material, very near and close. Even people like our sort of giants of Indian writing, people like Premchand and Manto. Of course, you must use then your circumstances to enter new material, to kind of make a journey outwards. You can't stay in that sphere that you sort of inherited. But I think that writing must be it's very good when it's personal in that way, when you're looking hard at your own world.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.